Alright then. Ugh, I don't like library levels. They suck. They suck a lot. Mother Nature. Is that some sort of book about hippie chicks? Probably not. Except perhaps tangentially. Tangentially. It's most likely about environmental protection. I was just trying to make a joke. Dude, hippie chicks? Really? What, they're nice people. Cute. This handrail is made of metal. Oh, what the heck? Ooh. Ernal. Ugh. What's the deal with these titles? They're all just gibberish. Hey, what if we, like, switch them around? Switch them around, eh? Yeah. If we move them around, maybe they'll spell something. Oh, I get it. Yeah, heck, it's worth a shot. We ain't got much else to do. Okay. Is that supposed to spell anything? Oh, I get it. So it goes. And oop. There we go. How about this? Looks like putting those books in the right order opened this thing right up. Huh, that was a piece of cake. Hooray! You did it, Junpei. I guess that turned out well enough. So the letters from the title spell out, open here, find bulb. I found the bulb. It's a powerful light bulb. What is that, a 60 watt? I don't know. What are you? There's a note on that table. Lights to the books. Huh. What does that mean? Interesting. Well, intelligence often hides itself in darkness. Have you ever thought about the pages of a book? Each page only sees, what, maybe 2 or 3 minutes of light before the reader goes on to the next? They spend the rest of their lives locked in darkness. Rather like myself. That's narcissistic. No, don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining. Not at all. I live in the darkness, yes. But that has gifted me with the ability to catch the truths others might miss. I can hear the voices hidden in the darkness, you might say. You also said that you're extremely intelligent. Which, you know, might be true, but come on, man. Oh god. There's a bottom half to this? Don't know. And this thing is narrow. Feel like I'm walking across a tightrope. Geez, Snake, aren't you scared? Imagine a wall 20 inches wide that runs along the top of the 10-story building. Could you walk along that wall, Junpei? No way. And what about a balance beam in a gymnasium? Well, that's easy. You don't find that strange. A balance beam is far narrower than 20 inches. So why is it a balance beam poses no challenge to you, but the hypothetical 10-story wall does? 10 stories? Light can easily turn people into cowards. From time to time, a life in darkness can give you okay. Are you just gonna go on and on about yourself this round? God dang it. How am I? Stairs. What? Okay. There we go. What's up with you, Owen? Oh gosh. Dad kind. What the hell's this? Wasn't that a German mathematician? Maybe it's a compilation of his work. Oh good, books about math. That's brilliant. Liebherrnis. This book is in German. Looks like it's the complete works of something. Never heard of it. Well, if Snake doesn't know what it is, I don't think we'll ever know. Owen, huh? Owen isn't enough to go on. Perhaps it's about the English Revolutionary. Sheldrake. I think I've heard Sheldrake before. Isn't Sheldrake... I've heard of Sheldrake before. Somewhere, I think. That's a weird book, Junpei. Indian mathematics. Haha, that's pretty funny. Why is that funny? It says Riemann hypothesis. What is there to hypothesize about the Rayman raving rapids? Isn't it pretty straightforward? Riemann? Heavens no, there are many factors. Length, girth, or lubrication, or lack of what? What? It's an exciting and rapidly growing field. Whoa. Okay then. I don't know. Oh gosh, what the... There are dim lights on the floor. The dim lights are set at 3 points across the floor, okay? It's a small enclosure with 9 sides. There are 3 of these things that look kind of like music stands. Am I supposed to put something on those stands? Probably. But you. Nope. The bookshelf is sort of a glass inlay. It's pretty big, but there's only 6 books on it. That seems kind of weird. Hey, looks like there's something on the bottom. Can't really see it though, the glass is all foggy. Hello? Oh gosh. Cock my head. Is it going to give me an explanation? In the middle of the glass door is a cylinder lock. You know, the kind of lock where you rotate the numbers around until you got the right ones to open it. What the hell is this? You just explained it, man. It's like they just gave us the answer. So might as well give it a shot. Oh, wait. Well, okay. Oh, what? I wasn't paying attention at all. Jeez. 6, 3, 2, 4. Darn it. 1 and 5. Wow. That was a trap. It's got to be a trap. You did it, Junpei. Yay! That's got to be a trap. I'm very weary about that. I don't know why, but I don't really feel particularly happy about being praised for that. Whatever. At least the lock's open now. Let's see if we can get it open, alright? I hope so. Hello, books. All 6 books seem to be pointing at the cylinder number lock. Oh, hey. Hey, it's another light bulb. 120 watts total, I guess. I don't know. Wait, what? Nope. Nothing else in here for me? Nothing? Okay. Well done. Let's see what we've got here. So many books here. I wonder what this... Whoa. What's this? Warm? Oh. Sorry. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Hey, what's the deal with this sappy stuff? What? What's that? This iron plate is bolted down. I don't think it's a door. I think it's just a wall. Is that it? 3 lights in this thing. They aren't very bright, though. Hey, didn't we find some kind of really powerful light bulb earlier? Why don't you put in one of these lights? Yeah, well, it'll get a lot brighter, but if there are 3 lights, that means 3 light bulbs. It'll be much pointless we can replace all 3 light bulbs. We need 3 light bulbs, huh? Yeah, I know about the dim lights on the floor. Blah, 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 blah. Shut up. Hopefully that didn't show. Fucking Norton. Wait, no, McAfee. Fucking McAfee. Is that a note? Oh, that was a note we found last time. Okay. Is there anything else here? Might as well check Indian mathematics again. Algebraic number theory. Why is this just a math section? What the heck? Need something like primary number theory or analytical number theory or geometry. Oh my gosh, how did you know? Nobody said anything about those. Well, number theory is usually split into 4 chief disciplines. There was a book named Algebraic Number Theory. I took a wild guess that the other 3 would be there as well. Looks like I was right. Aren't you smart, Mr. Smart Man? About you. There are books here in all sorts of languages. I can't read them, so I'm a pansy. Folklore and myth. Oh, hello. What's this? Origin of Japanese folklore. It's like there are a bunch of books about Japanese culture here. Mostly ones about folklore, though. Well, folklore can cover a wide range of subjects. History, urban life, religious trends, environmental changes, oral traditions, folklore, and cover all those things. You know where to look. Those look pretty deep. Well, this looks pretty deep. Agriculture and historical organizations and folklore. I don't care. What about you? Modern Japanese literature, huh? What about you? Picture book. Here? Looks like it's an old folk tale. Don't you think it's a little weird that this book's the only picture book? Maybe you ought to hold on to it. Search it. It's got a magic wand on it. Okay. So, what's inside? Well, aren't you gonna open it? Pretty sure it's just gonna have pages inside. Smart. Whoa. Ah. SE. .5? Oh, SE-5. What is that? Oh, when I opened it, these 4 letters popped out. So I guess it's a pop-up book, huh? SE5, huh? Wonder what that means. I wonder too. It's kind of weird, man. Ouch. This one looks just like that picture book from earlier. One with the pop-ups. I think they're part of a series or something. They do have the same binding. Search it. There's a baseball on this one. Come on, Junpei. Don't you want to be a baseball coach? Oh. Wrong Junpei. Let's see what's in it. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say it's probably baseball. Whoa! Head. Search. This is a pop-up book. It's got letters H-E-A-D popping out of it. Head. Interesting. Look, this one says cultural heritage of Rome. But that's gonna be serious inheritance tax. Gremlin creatures. Seems a little fancy for some kind of prehistoric critter. Not to mention most of them were likely reptiles and amphibians. Without hair, I can't imagine they had much need of perms. It's got nothing to do with this. He was making a joke, man. Jeez. Sir Lancelot. Isn't he just a story? I don't think you're gonna find a guy who didn't really exist in a history book. Maybe it's a fictitious history book. You don't know. Nanotechnology. Nanomachines, son. What's we got? Well then, I can see where your heart lies. About you. Oh yeah, you're the weird one. Look at anything about you. So, about you. Ooh, black hole hypothesis. Gamma ray astrophysics. Man, that's amazing. So freaking boring. Hey. Teletemporation and telepathy. What the hell is this one about? Well, I know what telepathy is, but I've never heard of teletemporation. It refers to having the ability to travel through time. So time travel, eh? This book is called, Mind Swap. You mean you could, like, change bodies with someone, or more like minds? Well, I guess I wouldn't mind switching bodies with my brother Junpei too much, but I'd rather die than let Seven switch with me. The hell? I'd even want to swap bodies with a little brat like... Hey, were you just imagining it? Oh, you pervert. Yeah, well, he wasn't the only one. Oh, Junpei. Kitab al-Hazif. Man, they've got some weird kind of stuff here. Can't even pronounce this one. Who's that? Some famous guy. It's not a person's name, it's the name of a fictional book created by Abdul al Arabic name. It's said to be one of the sources used in the creation of the legendary Book of the Dead, the Necronomicon. Oh yes. Oh, so these are all occult books and stuff. I check this one. This one says the golden rabbit in the moon. Oh god. No, don't bring me flashbacks of ELR. Does that mean it's about a rabbit that lives on the moon? Rabbits are pretty cute, but what's the moon stuff about? It's talking about the Judas tree that was said to grow on the moon, according to Chinese legend. Man, we're just getting all sorts of information right now. Jeez. Probably gonna fast forward half this. Don't even know where to look. I don't care about the handrail. Wow. Oh hey, finally, looks like there's a whole lot of space behind this book. Look, Junpei, I think there's something hidden behind the books. That took a long time to find. Let's head downstairs. Oop. Oh, it's much brighter. Oh, these light bulbs really make a difference. It's pretty bright in here now. Okay, what's it about? Wow, it's so bright now. It's almost blinding. Alright. That means we just have to do this. Do this. Kind of like music stands. Oh. Oh yeah, if we do that, then a shadow on the bottom there. True, but there are 3 stands, right? We don't have enough picture books. In other words, we need 3 picture books. Mother flipper. That was annoying. Hey look, Sheldrake. Something projecting on the bottom. These letters, they seem familiar. Yeah, Sheldrake. It says Sheldrake on the spine of the book. It's got a volume number written on the lower part of the spine. Yeah, Sheldrake. Yeah. Pick the book. Go. What? Oh, fine. Be that way. Sheldrake 5. Sheldrake. Junpei read the text out loud. I think I saw the rest of his collection somewhere. Yeah, I think it was somewhere around here. Let's go take a look. Okay. 7 and Clover walked off, leaving Junpei and Snake behind. Have you heard of him? Sheldrake, I mean. Junpei grinned. Yeah. Lotus told me about. Oh my gosh, that's where I remember. There's a British biochemist named Sheldrake. He had a rather interesting theory. The theory of morphogenetic fields, which relies on theory of morphic resonance. Really? From Lotus, huh? Well, Clover also said something to me about that stuff. She did? Yeah. What was it? The ability to access morphogenic field is affected by a couple of things. The first is epiphany and the other is danger. That girl. I told her not to tell anyone. You did? Why? Junpei's eyes narrowed. Look, man, I didn't push it because we're in a hurry, but I'm kind of sick of this. Oh, you just tell me, okay? Tell you what, don't give me that, but the experiment. Snake's shoulders slumped and he shook his head slowly. He'd finally given up. Very well. Fine. I'll tell you everything, but not here. Let's move to the top floor. Junpei nodded. With that, they climbed the stairs to the top floor. I have to cut all that stuff running around for the books out. Jesus. Snake was silent for a moment after they arrived, then finally crossed his arms and spoke. I suppose I might as well start by telling you why I kept quiet about and why I made sure Clover did as well. To be honest, the explanation is quite simple. Zero told me not to. I had little choice. He didn't walk up and tell me, of course. He gave me a message engraved on a card. Snake reached into his sleeve and pulled out a small, stiff piece of paper. It looked a good deal like the one he'd shown everyone in the central staircase. So you had 2 cards. No, only one. What do you mean? I thought that card just had some rules for the Nominary game on it. Yes, it did. Those were the rules I read you. However, they were not the only thing on the card. There was something I didn't read. Well, perhaps I should say there was something I couldn't read. And that was... Tell no one of the events that took place 9 years ago. Tell and I activate your sister's detonator. Oh. Well, you can circumvent that. It was only a message for Snake. Doesn't say anything about her. Well, what about Clover? Did she get a message from Zero too? I don't believe she did. But doesn't it strike you as strange that Zero would shut my mouth, but not hers? Yeah, that does seem a little weird. To be on the safe side, however, I told her it was best not to tell anyone. Still, apparently, she told you. That girl. What's wrong with her telling me? I figured some stuff out with the thing she told me. I mean, it looks like the whole activate her detonator thing was just a bluff. She's prancing around downstairs, happy as a clam now that you're back. Oh gosh. Something's gonna go wrong, I can tell. Snake glanced down at Clover and Seven examining one of the bookshelves. That's very true. I've decided I can trust you. I've decided to tell you the truth. The chance that Santa is Zero is very high. I feel I can assume Santa doesn't have the time to observe us at the moment. And at any rate, even if he were, I very much doubt he would kill us. Why not? Clover told me about the 4-leaf clover, about the words. If he knew about that, then he was in my group during the first experiment. I'm sure of it. He wouldn't kill us, no matter what the situation was. Snake paused, cocked his head as though he was listening to something very far away. His face looked dark, as though something was weighing on him. Hey, Snake. Junpei wasn't quite sure what to say. Snake turned and looked at him. Yes, I know. You want to know what happened during the experiment? Well, yeah. How much do you know? Junpei relayed to Snake everything Clover had told him. The morphogenetic field and the experiments 9 years prior that had dealt with it. How the experiment had taken place simultaneously at 2 locations, one being the ship and the other being a building in the Nevada. How they'd played the nunnery game. He told him everything. And finally, he told him how a girl had died during the experiment. Oh, she told you all that, did she? Snake looked down. His face was tight. A slight tremor shook his body, and he tried to hide it. He was putting on a good front, but even Junpei could tell that he was holding back something deep and powerful. He made as if to brush something from his face and looked up at Junpei. Well, at any rate, I now know how much you've learned. All that remains for us to determine is who did this and why, right? Yes. Can you tell me what happened? Snake nodded slowly. The people who organized the initial experiment were from a company called Cradle Pharmaceutical. There were 4 of them running the show. Kentaro Hongo, Nagisa Nijisaki, Teruaki Kubota, Kagechika Masashido. Oh, Jesus. Hey, look, it's Ace. Ongo was the CEO of Creative Pharmaceutical. Yusaki was his right-hand man, and did the lion's share of the planning. Wait. Yusaki. He looks like Snake. Kubota looks like the Ninth Man. Led the company's research and development division. Hey, that guy kinda looks like the captain. He's their majority stockholder. It was these 4 people who planned the initial experiment. Let me simplify it for you. Ongo designed it, and Nijisaki put it all together. Kubota developed the technology required, and Masashido provided the cash. So Tongo, Nijisaki, Kubota, and Masashido. Junpei couldn't shake the sense that he heard those 4 names somewhere before. Of course, more than 4 people were required to conduct an experiment of this scale. To that end, they organized a top-secret team to assist them with their research. All in all, they gathered 10 people or so. Those 10 completed their team, and they were able to begin the project. They named it the Nonary Project. The purpose of the experiment was to research the prospect of controlling a human mind through sheer will. The vessel, I suppose you could say, for this control was the morphogenic field. Why did the glycerin suddenly begin to crystallize? Why did the crystal structure of EDT undergo a sudden change? Why did the rats improve their puzzle-solving skills with each wait. Experiments with humans produced the same results. The more people who knew the answer to the question, the more people there were who could answer correctly without having seen the problem before. Why? How? The answer is that the shape of the answer has been stored in a field invisible to the naked eye. And through that field, the resonant event transmits information related to that answer. That's essentially the idea behind morphogenetic fields. But that's just a theory. Can't bring yourself to believe it? Not really. Let's say someone killed another person because the devil told them to do it. Whether the devil exists or not has no relevance to the murderer. They believe the devil exists. Whether or not he does is immaterial. Whatever. So what matters here is that Hongo believed in the morphogenetic field. Snake nodded. But I still don't get it. You said they wanted to figure out how to control people, right? That is what you were saying. Yes. So how were they going to do it with that morphogenic field? I'll keep it simple. Let's suppose 10,000 people have solved a certain problem. The chance of you knowing that answer, even if no one has told you, will go up. Let's have another example, shall we? Say 1 million people were to do a handstand right now. Tomorrow the chances of you doing a handstand would be higher, even if you had heard nothing of this hypothetical mass handstanding. Mankind's thought process and actions are all part of a resonant event. All of the resonant events encoded in the fields are projected onto you. Of course, this assumes you believe in this theory. Do you follow so far? Yeah. Well, let's just say, hypothetically, that there was a person who had the same effect of those millions of people. What would happen? If that one person were to do a handstand, other people would find themselves wanting to do handstands as well. Can you imagine what a person with powers like that would be able to do? Come on. There's no way. I'm not done. Imagine another scenario. Imagine another person. This is an ordinary person. Let's say he does a handstand. What if there was someone who could grab the resonant event he created by doing that, and use it to make other people do handstands? What would happen then? A person who has the power to write to the field, and someone who can read, are the same. You think of them as the writer and the reader, or the transmitter and the receiver. What would the world be like if there were people with abilities like these? Junpei thought about it for a moment. So the transmitter's resonant event can be transmitted through the field and sent to the receiver. And then the transmitter can control the receiver however they wish. That's what you're saying, right? Yes. Close enough at least. Come on, that's just crazy. Well, if you want to prove that, then you'll have to test it first. At least, that was how they thought. That was why they decided to do their experiment. That was how the Nonary project began. Snake suddenly looked very serious. Junpei, have you ever heard of the Gansfield experiment? No, I haven't. Junpei shook his head. You place a pair of subjects in separate rooms. Then you show one a picture and ask the other what they see. In theory, it is supposed to test for the existence of telepathy. Oh. So why'd you bring up the Gansfield experiment? It was used to screen subjects for the Nonary project. The hospital in a remote town was affiliated with Cradle Pharmaceutical. Hongo used it to conduct experiments on visiting children in secret. Some of them, he found, had potential. He began to gather children that showed promise. Children that seemed as though they might be able to access the field. Of course, none of them volunteered. They were kidnapped. His face barely moved as he spoke. He was one of them. There were 9 pairs of siblings taken for 18 children total. For reasons that were not fully understood at the time, each pair had 1 transmitter and 1 receiver. They were split perfectly. As such, the 18 children were split into 2 groups of 9. The children who were put in Group Q were the ones who excelled at transmitting. They were transferred to the mock experiment building known as Building Q in the Nevada desert. The children who excelled at receiving were put in Group A. Okay. The members of Group A were placed in the former hospital ship Gigantic. From the experiments he had conducted so far, Hongo had learned the following. There were 2 things that can increase one's resonance with the fields. The first is epiphany, the other is danger. Have you ever been faced with an especially difficult problem and thought about it very long and very hard, until finally an answer suddenly appeared in your mind? It may seem obvious to say so, but that is what is meant by epiphany. Information obtained through that epiphany can be easily transmitted through the fields, where it can be easily interpreted. Adding danger to that equation allows for even easier field access. Therefore, Hongo set up a number of puzzles across the Gigantic. The participants had to solve each puzzle before they could move to the next room. Of course, he hadn't forgotten to include danger. More specifically, he had detonated a bomb on the whole of the Gigantic. The children in Group A were forced to play the Nonary game as the ship sunk, much like these guys are. By forcing the children into the life-or-death situation, Hongo hoped to increase the likelihood of their tapping into the fields. The children from Group Q, on the other hand, were confined to the mock experiment building, Building Q. Building Q duplicated the interior and the puzzles of the Gigantic exactly. Hongo explained the situation to the children in Group Q. Solve the puzzles you find throughout the rooms. You solve them, transmit that information to the children in Group A. If you succeed, they will be able to solve the puzzles and escape. But if you fail, then the Gigantic will sink, and your brothers and sisters will drown. Do you know why the astronauts of Apollo 13 were able to return to Earth safely? It was because NASA had access to a replica of the Apollo 13 capsule. All the equipment, the instruments, everything. All of it identical. NASA was able to replicate the situation the astronauts were facing. By putting themselves in the same situation, they attempted to solve the problems they knew the astronauts were experiencing. Once they had found solutions, they reported their findings to the men aboard the actual capsule. That was how they were able to return safely. It was the same with the Gigantic and Building Q. The children from Group Q had to use the power of epiphany to solve the puzzles they found and transmit what they learned through the fields. The children in Group A, however, had to access the fields to learn how they might advance to the next stage. That is the simplest explanation I can manage, and quite long-winded, Jesus, man. Snake sounded defeated. His half-hearted attempt at derision served only to show how much of the story had affected him. Just as Junpei was about to speak, it took them that long to find the book, when it was just, like, right behind. Now, yeah, it took me a while to find the pop-up book, but that's because it's freaking library area. Everything's hidden and stuff. Jesus, man. Hey, Junpei. Snake. How much longer are you two gonna sit around in those bone fantasies? Get down here already. Seven's voice echoed from below. Snake took a deep breath and blinked rapidly, as if just waking up from a long nap. He's right. Let's go, shall we? We don't have much time. We need to get out of here, and soon. Snake headed for the stairs, but Junpei put out an arm to stop him. Hold it! There's one more thing I want to ask you. Are you sure that there were 18 kids? Why? Well, I thought it was only 16. Oh. Yes, that was what they said on the news, wasn't it? Yes, I have no doubt that 18 children were abducted and used in Hongo's experiment. After all, you couldn't exactly play an Onary game with any less, could you? Well, yeah, but are you saying that the news got it wrong? Yes, I am. There were 2 more children. However, they had no relatives that I'm aware of. I imagine no one filed a police report when they went missing. They were brother and sister, like Clover and I. The brother's name was... I always have trouble with that name. Aoi? I don't know. The sister's name was... Her name was... Snake couldn't seem to bring himself to continue. It looked as if what he was about to say brought him great pain. Her name was Akane. That was the girl who died. Junpei felt as if he had been punched in the stomach. His vision went blurry and his head felt light. He couldn't think straight. Everything was blank. Had Akane Kurashiki died 9 years ago? If she had, then who was June? No, that was impossible. It couldn't be true. Akane wasn't an uncommon name. If Snake had known her last name, then that would have been a different matter entirely. So they shared a name. There were many other people who did as well. It meant nothing. It was a different person. Of course it was a different person. It had to be. Junpei shook his head hard and pulled himself back into reality. There's something wrong, Junpei. Your breathing sounds strange. Then Snake had noticed. Junpei had cleared his throat and tried to act calm. Oh, no, it's nothing. I'm fine. Let's get back down there, alright? Snake raised an eyebrow but said nothing. He headed down the stairs, Junpei bringing up the rear. He couldn't bring himself to ask. He told himself he knew the answer already, but he couldn't bring himself to ask what the girl's last name had been. With every step he took, the cold, hard sound of feet against metal dug at his heart.